Hello friends, myself Dr. Sanjay Mohan. So I am here to start a lecture series on subject Introduction to Tribology. This subject is known by different names, but here the main focus is on the introductory phase of tribology. So today lecture will be a brief introduction of this subject. So let's start with this presentation. So tribology basically comprises of two words commonly known as tribos and ology. So tribos basically it's a Greek word. Its meaning is a rubbing between two bodies, two surfaces, and ology means the study. So it's the study of two rubbing surfaces. So that is known as tribology. So it can be defined as the study of surfaces in relative motion, and it deals with friction, wear, and lubrication between the surfaces in contact. So these terms, friction, wear, and lubrication, these term itself, you can say this is a full science in these terms, in the for these terms, friction, wear, and lubrication. But still, in brief, we'll see what is friction. It is basically the force opposing motion of one surface with respect to another. So if we relate it with the subjects, it basically belongs to physics or mechanical engineering. Uh, it belongs to that area of that area only, physics or mechanical engineering. Then comes wear. So it is progressive removal of material of one surface due to the other contact surfaces. When two surfaces are in contact, so due to the action of one surface, the material removal takes place of either of the surfaces. So this belongs to the category of subject material science or metallurgy. And then comes lubrication. So the lubrication basically means you introduce an agent in between the contact surfaces of two bodies. So the objective of this lubricant is to minimize friction. So lubrication has can classify into various categories. So not going in detail right now. Maybe in the coming lectures we will see. We'll go in details for these of these terms, friction, wear, and lubrication. So the lubrication belongs to chemistry and mechanical engineering. So that is the brief idea of this tribology and of V friction, wear, and lubrication. Now, talking of history of this tribology, so basically, this is not a new word, or we can say this is not a new science. It was already there since ancient times, because we can see the surfaces and the relative motion between the surfaces or rubbing surfaces rubbing against each other. This phenomena was always there. So it means tribology was also there. Let's have a look. So in latest times, this word tribology was coined by Dr. Jost, Dr. H. Peter Jost in England in 1966. So if you go to the ancient times, so in Egypt, so the Egyptian used to transport big statues. We have seen Egyptian structures, massive structures, big pyramids, like big statues. So there they have to transport big stones, big slabs. So there they were using the concept of tribology. So they used to transport them over sledges, big sledges. So we can say tribology came into existence during that time. So again, the invention of wheel, again it goes back to 3400 BC. Wheel is also you can say a friction reducer. The because of wheel, friction is reduced. In 64, a committee was formed to sort out the means to deal with the impact of friction, because this friction phenomena was affecting the British industrial economy. So there, that committee had a lot of brainstorming sessions, and then they move forward with this term tribology. Now, this is a sketch taken from a book, and here you can see the Egyptians. This is a carving, the carved structure. The Egyptians are carrying a heavy statue with the help of sledge on the sledge. Let's see. You can see the encircled man. Let us magnify that. So you can see a man pouring water beneath the sledge. So at the contact surfaces, he's pouring some water like thing. So definitely it is to reduce friction. So this goes back to those ancient times. So you can say this is a sort of a natural phenomena. This tribology is nothing new. This is a natural phenomena taking place. So we are into this tribology. As I said, whenever there are two contact surfaces, we are into the tribology, one way or another. So this pic was taken from a book authored by Duncan Dawson, A History of Tribology. So coming to significance of tribology, so to go for its significance, I would like to bring forth some latest, you can say, latest findings. So this is taken from the findings are taken from author Stakoviak in 2013. It was in Engineering Tribology. So as per this report, in UK they have estimated uh, saving of $515 million per annum using principle of tribology. Again in 1975 in USA, you can see the data. It says 11% of total annual energy can be saved, which was being used in transportation, power generation, industrial process, all those things, because of tribological principle. Because of the ones they have planned that if we use the tribological principles, then we can save 11% of total annual energy. That's a huge amount. Again, in USA only, they have analyzed and reported that 18.6% of total annual energy, that too consumed by cars, by using tribological principles, there also they can save $14.3 billion per annum. Again, on the same lines, they have analyzed that the wear per flight hour results in cost of $243. Means after every flight, if they calculate the wear which has taken place, we are talking about this the flight system. So per flight hour, it is costing $243. Now, in Germany in 1976, the economic losses due to friction and wear were around 10-15 billion DA, and that is per annum. So you can see a lot of energy is being consumed by this friction and wear, and by saving that energy, you are adding to the and total annual income of a nation. Similarly, again, author Homburg and the associated authors, they have also worked and brought some facts. Uh, what are those facts? So their work was referred to. They have analyzed some paper mill. Since in paper mill we have mechanical machines, and in mechanical machines we have a relative motion between various parts. So once there is a relative motion, definitely there is friction and wear taking place. So there they analyze that the energy consumed to overcome friction, means friction has to be overcome, and the energy required to overcome that friction in a paper mill is in the range of 15 to 25% of the total energy. You can see the figures. And then say if we make use of the newly developed tribological principles or technologies for reducing friction, especially in paper machines, so 11% of the friction losses could be reduced in short term. They have planned short term and long term. They have plans in short term and long term. Short term basically means it goes about to 10 years, in the coming 10 years, and the long term means 20 to 25 years. So 11% saving in around 10 years and 23.6% in long term. So only with the use of the friction reducing techniques. Now again, Homburg have analyzed the friction in trucks and buses. So as per this report, they said that in passenger cars, 1/3 of the fuel energy is used to overcome friction in the engine, transmission, tires, and brakes. Now, if you exclude braking friction, because we know that brake works on the principle of friction only. So they said excluding that braking friction. So 21.5% of the fuel energy is used to move the car. Now you can see how much energy is being utilized here. So to this, what they have advised that if we take the advantage of new technology relates to your this tribological field only. So friction losses could be reduced by 18%. Again, the short term, 5 to 10 years, but 61% in the long term, means 15 to 25, within 15 to 25 years. Then again, apart from this passenger cars, in heavy duty vehicles, they said 26% of the fuel energy is used to overcome friction in heavy duty vehicles. Again, that way, in a heavy duty vehicle also. So if by introducing this new techniques of friction reduction, or by inducting by inducing tribological principles in heavy duty vehicles, the friction losses could be saved, and the figure is 14% in short term and 37% long term. So here they have changed the figure. Short term they meant for this heavy duty vehicles 4 to 8 years, and long term is 8 to 12 years. Now you can clearly have an idea. This gives us a clear picture of the significance of this tribology. So by inducing these tribological principles, big amount of energy, big amount of cost could be saved. So again, that Homburg in 2017, they have reported that in totality, they have analyzed 23% of the world's total energy consumption originates from tribological contacts. As I was telling you, because we cannot uh, remove this mutual contacts between the bodies or relative motion between the bodies. It is a part and parcel of our life. So as per their analysis, they said 23%, about around 23% of the world's total energy consumption. It is related to your tribological contacts. And of this 23%, 20% is being used to overcome friction. And just 3% is used to remanufacture worn out parts. Now you can see the figure 20% is used to overcome friction. So globally, these savings would amount to 1.4% of the GDP. I'm talking about on a global scale, and 8.7% of the total energy consumption in the long term. So see how this friction is affecting the economy of the nation or economy of the whole world. That clearly reflects the importance of tribological principles. So talking about the industry, in industry we have a wide range of parts where there is a relative motion. As an example, gears are there, bearings are there, cams, guideways, connecting rods, automobile engines, tools, etc. Numerous parts are there. There is no end to these parts. So there is no possibility to, we can say, to remove this tribological contacts. We cannot. But yes, with the help of tribological principles, we can reduce friction. So at this stage, I cannot really discuss anything pertaining to research, but at least we will discuss the factors. So tribological phenomena or tribological performance of the contact surfaces, it depends on numerous factors, but some of the factors I will discuss here. Mechanical properties. Now we have a list of mechanical properties. We can say that in one way or other, or almost every properties affecting tribological performance of the contact materials. And the study of mechanical behavior at macro and micro level. So it has been considered by researchers, and by doing this, the tribological behavior is explained. In case of macro uh, contacts, we take the whole contact area, and in case of micro contact, we take asperity to asperity level contact. That has to be more accurate. So this was for macro and micro contacts. Now, talking about mechanical properties, as an example, we can take we have hardness, we have surface roughness, other properties also. So, as an example, I will take hardness. The hardness, as we know, it is defined as the indentation, resistance offered by the material to the indentation caused on the material. So that indentation can be due to any source. So this very process, this very property hardness, it affects the wear rate directly. So we have other explanations also. So that we will see in the coming lectures. Let's see the other property, mating conditions. Now, in what conditions the contact was maintained, that also play a role and affect tribological performance of the material, such as the temperature and the type of the contact surface. That matters a lot, and they can lead to tribochemical reactions also. Apart from this, the change in the chemical composition may take place because of those tribochemical reactions, and it further influences the tribological performance. Let's see the other properties, type of lubrication. As in the initial slides I have told you, lubrication. So we have classification of lubricants. We have liquid lubricants, we have semi-solid lubricants, we have solid lubricants. Now, and under this category, we have a huge range of lubricants. Now, lubrication, if I am using a liquid lubricant, so its compatibility with the contact surface will matter a lot. So whatever lubricant you will be using, so its compatibility is to be checked with the contact surface. So sometime to avoid just the issues of this liquid lubrication, we go for solid lubricants. So solid lubricants are added as a part of the material only. So yes, lubrication affects the tribological performance to a greater extent. Now comes physical properties. Physical properties, just like you can say density, melting point, conductivity of the materials. So they do affect the tribological performance. Suppose we can say that the density, if a more, so this is not a exact statement, but as an approximation. More dense material, let's say it will have more hardness, and more harder material will give you more wear resistance. Again, it's just to exemplify. So I'm not confirming that these are exact details, just to give an example. Because when practically you do the things, so a lot of variables are there, lot of constraints are there. So this is just to make you aware of the various factors which influence tribological performance of the contact surfaces. Then comes chemical properties. Because it is more related to your, just like lubrication only. So it basically means the chemical compatibility of the two contact surfaces. And if you add a liquid lubricant, again the chemical compatibility of liquid lubricant with the two contact surfaces. So they also affect the overall tribological performance of the material. Then comes material engineering, the influence of material engineering on the tribological performance. So crystallography, we know what is crystallography. It refers to the structure of the material. So we have studied in material science, different structures are there. The type of structure can decide the type of the property. So the change in the structure can result in increased hardness or decreased hardness, or increase or decrease in some other property. So these change in the crystal structure of the material, it very much affects the tribological performance. Then comes metallic inclusions. There are metallic inclusions, non-metallic inclusions. So what are these metallic inclusions? So basically the inclusion refers to a material which is trapped inside the metal during its processing or during its formation. So they do affect the tribological behavior of the material. Now it depends upon what type of inclusion has occurred. It may be oxide, it may be a sulfide, or some other thing. So that again is the research field. So heat treatment processes. So in material science, we study these heat treatment processes. So by subjecting a material to different heat treatment processes, you can bring a change in the crystal structure, or hence you can bring a change in the properties of the material. As I told you, by using some heat treatment, by carrying out some heat treatment process, if we are able to change some property, say mechanical property of the material, which in turn is affecting the tribological performance of the material. So that way we can say the material engineering also influences tribological performance. So you can see some of the factors which I have discussed here. How do they affect the tribological performance in general? Now there we also have a large number of we have more factors also. But normally what is being done? Only few factors have been selected by researchers. Suppose if I say the I'm interested in carrying out some research, something new. So I may study the effect of some of the mechanical property, let it be hardness or something, on the tribological performance of some specific material. That itself is a single line of your research. Similarly, you can find out the effect of change in the crystal structure of a material on its tribological performance. So I mean to say the choice of the uh, type of your tribological system and what type of experiments you are going to perform. So it will help you to select the factors to be studied. So that's why researchers they just narrow their scope of their investigation to come to a proper conclusion. So this tribology, that's why it's very interesting. It encompasses most of the mechanical engineering. So as I told you in the initial slide, physics is involved, mechanical engineering is involved, chemistry is involved. So that way, and also for the researchers, we can carry out our research. There is a large scope in studying the tribological behavior of a set of materials. There is a large scope. There is no end to it. So I think I will wind up. Thank you very much for listening. So in the next slide, we will go in more details. Thank you very much.